Super Princess Peach was released in North America in 2006 for the Nintendo DS, finally giving the Super Mario franchise's beloved princess the chance to star in her own adventure. The premise is a role reversal on the damsel in distress trope, as Peach must rescue Mario, Luigi, and the Toads from the hands of Bowser. The game was co-developed by a third party, Toze, who you might know for the legendary Starfy series. Interestingly enough, Starfy makes a cameo as a super rare enemy for Princess Peach to fight in-game. The Japanese commercial for Super Princess Peach was super cute.
気まぐれピーチが大冒険 Super Princess Peach
And the American commercial was an interesting art direction, to say the least.
Once upon a time, princesses were called to rescue two captured plumbers. Super Princess Peach, only on Nintendo DS. Rated E for everyone.
I guess the United States has to sneak in that military propaganda anywhere they can. To promote the game pre-release, a flash game on Nintendo.com called Parasol Fall was released in 2005 that featured gathering coins and vibe crystals as Perry the Parasol fell through the sky. That was, cool. But yes, our story begins introducing us to the mysterious Vibe Island, home of the Vibe Scepter, a mysterious scepter with the power to control and influence emotions. Bowser, having built a summer villa on the island, discovers the Vibe Scepter and hatches a nefarious plan to kidnap the Mario Brothers. While Peach and her retainers are away on a stroll, Bowser and his minions storm Mushroom Castle and successfully kidnap Mario, Luigi, and Toad, leaving chaos in his wake. As Peach and co. return from their stroll, finding the castle in utter disarray, Peach discovers a note left by Bowser. "You bratty mushroom losers, this time I've captured Mario. Who will save you now? If you want him, come get him." This is like the inverse of,
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Without a second thought, Princess Peach takes matters into her own hands and storms off before Toadsworth can even protest. So I think here's a good place to insert my rant about Princess Peach's recent portrayal in the Super Mario Bros. Illumination Studios movie. Super Princess Peach is a great, although lighthearted game showing just how strong and capable Princess Peach is, while still being ultra feminine and empathetic. All those tweets praising Peach's portrayal as a generic girl boss with vocal fry and saying, "Oh, Peach has a personality now," never cared about Peach as a character anyway, and are probably of the opinion that way too many people this day and age share. That to be strong and capable as a woman, we must discard any traditionally feminine traits, which I just hate that. I cannot believe it still has to be said in 2023 that Princess Peach or anyone can have a high-pitched voice, enjoy baking cakes, and still be perfectly capable of beating up bad guys and being a responsible ruler. It is extremely sexist to replace a woman's feminine traits with masculinity when you want the audience to think she's strong and capable. Okay, rant over. Something about Super Princess Peach that I think a lot of the earlier generation of DS games also featured was arbitrary use of the DS's features. Just in the opening sequence of the game alone, you have to tap the door closed with the stylus, use the microphone to give a signal, and use the stylus in a mid-cutscene minigame to herd out-of-control toads. The minigames that we'll touch on a little bit later also use the features of the DS to its full capability. Before sending Peach off to her great adventure, Toadsworth bestows her with a gift, a magical talking parasol he bought off a merchant named Perry. Then their journey begins. Oh, another little side note here. Other than one line of dialogue in the beginning sequence, Princess Peach takes a bit of a silent protagonist role in Super Princess Peach. She doesn't really have any written dialogue throughout the entire game or even in the ending. The ongoing story does seem to focus more on Perry, whose backstory is interesting to be sure, but I would have liked Peach to have a little more of a starring role in her own game over the talking parasol.
Oh, so now the talking cheese is gonna preach to us.
Peach and Perry must traverse the entirety of Vibe Island, rescuing all the captured toads. They start in the La-Di-Da Plains, a peaceful, grassy land with pretty generic enemies. The second world is Who's Wood, a dense forest. Then the pair heads off to Shriek Mansion, a world much like the Ghost House levels in Super Mario World. After that comes Fury Volcano, a volatile lava and fire themed area. Then it's off to Wavy Beach, but there's no time for vacation. Gleam Glacier follows, full of snow and ice. Giddy Sky is our penultimate area, which will put players platforming to the test. And it ends finally at Bowser's Villa, where the princess and the Koopa King finally face off. The boss fights are pretty fun and each make use of the different vibes. The fight with Bowser is a little bit of a pill and consists of several phases, but once you beat him, Peach will whack the crap out of him and rescue Mario with one final fanfare. The ending sequence gives us some closing remarks from an unseen narrator about the Vibe Scepter as Peach and company walk off into the sunset. So, how did you feel about this last adventure? I hate this kind of writing. What? Your dad got mad at you the other day. Your mom's been laughing happily a lot. Maybe, just maybe, the Vibe Scepter is hidden away in your house somewhere. Huh? Okay. The gameplay of Super Princess Peach is pretty one-to-one with the 2D platforming of 2D Mario games like Super Mario World, New Super Mario Bros., etc. However, since this is Vibe Island, Peach will need to use her 4 vibes to traverse the levels and solve puzzles. These are Joy, Rage, Gloom, and Calm. Joy gives Peach the ability to float and create cyclones. Rage sets Peach ablaze and increases the strength of her jump. Gloom makes Peach cry and run real fast. And Calm will allow Peach to restore her own HP. The use of vibes is limited to the vibe gauge, and some vibes use the gauge's energy faster than others. Peach's health and vibe gauge can be permanently increased through items at the shop, the Tough Coffee and Vibe Tea respectively. It weirdly looks like these powers come through Perry himself, as these items spring straight into the belly of the parasol. The shop also sells abilities for Perry, puzzle pieces, minigame levels, and music tracks for the music room. As a side note, one of my special interests in video games happens to be item illustrations, and Super Princess Peach's are to die for. Like, look at this, the Tough Coffee, Vibe Tea, Courage Soda, and the Endless Vibe is my fave. Once the player has beaten all the stages, collected all musical scores, have a recorded time for finishing each puzzle, and completed all the minigame levels, the Endless Vibe item becomes available in the shop for free. Toggling its effects on and off in the bonus menu allows the player to, you guessed it, use the vibes without depleting the vibe gauge. Perry serves as Peach's primary weapon, using him to smack enemies or pick them up and eat them? Oh, look, it refills the vibe gauge though. Cool! Perry can also transform into different forms to help Peach get through certain areas of the game, like a submarine or a cable car. Super Princess Peach also features a ton of familiar and not so familiar enemies. Some of them can come in different vibe variations, like Sad Goombas, Mad Boos, and Calm Hammer Bros. I gotta give a shout out to my absolute fave enemy though, the Glad Bombs. Look at this dude. When he explodes, he drops confetti! What a birthday core icon! Toze also snuck in a Starfy cameo in the form of a super rare starfish enemy that can only be encountered in certain areas of the game. The glossary even says, rumored to be the prince of a kingdom. The bonus menu has fun minigames like Toad Jump, Toad Tote, and Toad Shot. The music room lets the player listen to tracks and even voice clips from the game as the Peach hit 5. So cute. There's also a section to replay the Perry dream sequences and a glossary of the enemies that can be encountered on Vibe Island. The puzzles are pretty cute and a fun way to pass some time as well. As a side note, I remember seeing in the Guinness Book of World Records Gaming Edition 2010 that the record for Puzzle A and Super Princess Peach I had actually beaten. I can't seem to find any scans of this book, and I'm not about to pay like real life dollars to have that shipped to me, but I remember the record for Puzzle A was something like 11 seconds, and my record was like 8 or 9 seconds or something like that. A fun fact. According to the Super Mario Wiki and its sources, reception for Super Princess Peach was mixed to positive at its release. Reviews generally seem to cite the game's easiness as a drawback, a point that I wholeheartedly agree with. The game doesn't really let you figure anything out on your own. Whenever there's a roadblock, there's always a little Perry tutorial block telling you exactly how to solve it. And the platform doesn't really give much of a challenge either. In addition, something that isn't made clear until the very end of the game is that saving all of the Toads is not optional. Yes, you have to rescue every single one. So if you missed any, you will be backtracking before the fight with Bowser. But I guess even then, it wouldn't be that hard. Anytime Peach enters a room and there's a Toad, puzzle piece, minigame, or music track to collect, the bottom screen will play a little jingle and she'll go, And this may be a little bit controversial to bring up, but Super Princess Peach was also the subject of scrutiny of Anita Sarkeesian's Tropes vs. Women series of her Feminist Frequency channel. While praising that Peach gets to be the hero for once, Anita slammed the vibe mechanic, criticizing using mood swings and PMS as a core game mechanic for Peach's only starring role. While I understand where this is coming from, I'd argue that Peach's vibes don't illustrate her out-of-control mood swings, but rather her emotional intelligence. Bowser and his minions, as well as the other toads and enemies around Vibe Island, become unhinged under the influence of the Vibe Scepter, whereas Peach maintains perfect control over the 4 vibes and uses their power to her advantage. It's a perfect representation of Peach's grace and strength. Super Princess Peach has quite a wealth of unused and pre-release content made known to the public. One example is this screenshot, which, wow, the end product was definitely a huge improvement. It doesn't look bad, per se, but I don't think it really does Peach justice. The vibes are also notably missing from this screenshot, so maybe that mechanic wasn't planned to be in the game at all? The rest of the notable pre-release screenshots show only minor graphical differences from the final game. On a funnier note, is this room full of so many sad Goombas, it crashes the game. Most of the unused content consists of item and enemy sprites. All of the Koopalings have fully animated sprites. It seems like a bit of a waste. By far my favorite beta image is this! The tough coffee. Look at this smug little dude. Clearly you don't own an air fryer. All in all, while Super Princess Peach has its ups and downs, I find it a delightfully charming game that really pays homage to everyone's favorite princess. I know I speak for many fans when I say I'd love to see a remake or sequel on the Switch, but unfortunately that's probably extremely wishful thinking. I hope you enjoyed this little reminiscing session, and I do hope you'll join me for the future videos I have in store. Until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you when I see you.